So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable, seated position. And I think most of you are sitting at your computers, so just feet flat on the floor. So whether you're in a pair of slippers or you're on carpet in bare feet or however you're doing it, really try and feel the sensation of the foot connecting with the floor, the toe pads, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the outer sole, the heel. And have your knees about a hip's width apart and just be sitting right on top of your sits bones, shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And maybe just kind of stretch the neck out a bit. Maybe just drop your right ear towards your right shoulder and just feel a little bit of length on the left-hand side. Bring your head back to center, and then just very gently stretch the right-hand side of the neck. Just allow, don't let your shoulders come with you though, just allow them to sort of relax. So really try and feel a bit of, just a bit of nice release and stretching of the muscle in the neck. And bring your head back to center and then continue to lengthen the spine. And then let's go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, back of the head. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. Just really feel a softening through the whole body. So however it is you've spent this holiday, which is a Christian holiday, but I suspect we've all been in love with Father Christmas at some point in our lives. So Christmas, for most people brought up in the West, does have some meaning. So perhaps today was a joyful day of coming together with family. Perhaps it was sad. Did you spend today in meditation? Perhaps you just decided to completely ignore all the marketing that goes along with Christmas. However it is you spent today, just bring your mind into the room and just settle. Because you may have conversations going on in your head. This is usually a time we contact family if they're not with us. And then just notice if there are sounds in the room and allow the sounds to be there. And just try not to follow them. And then notice the thoughts that are arising. And again, try not to judge, criticize. And just notice what's arising, observe it, look at it, check the feeling that comes with it. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. So your loved ones, the ones who you don't like so much and are strangers. And just remember they can all change place at any time. This friend, this one we don't like, and this stranger. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And I think keep Hin very strongly in your mind. She's talking about entering hospice now. So I suspect she's, I think what I understood from Annie Tenzin Lama was that she was handing her care over to a hospice doctor now. So just, we're not sure how much longer Hin has with us, but at least her pain is going to be dealt with. So I send her much loving, kind, healing, pain-free thoughts. So remember, there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change that by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. Sorry. Sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general have regret for all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken any vows I have, because I don't want future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, our delusions, basically, attachment. This is the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods, his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and just have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will ripen as suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And there we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just the same as you walk here, as when you when you fill a kind of a dirty glass in a sink, you've had or even if you've a pot full of soup, and then you just kind of fill it with water to rinse it out, and all the kind of gunk comes to the top. So sort of think about that. And then also Lamsa Primsha used to talk about how it's quite forcefully being pushed up. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and talking about people behind their backs, sort of like telling your version of the truth, sometimes interpreted as lying. And imagine that all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel delighted. Your speech is completely purified and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself, because as you talk, you will hear yourself. As you write, you will see the words you have written. And next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, the light instantly dispels the darkness. So you just imagine the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all of your attachment and neediness and bitterness and grudges and anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum. Okay. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So we're looking at energy here, just imprints of energy being eradicated. So you can imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar, fills you completely, and it just kind of wipes out that last bit of residue of negativity, negative energy. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's a pretty crucial one, and this is the determination to not harm with our body, speech, and mind again. And without making a decision, without this determination, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. So this aspiration to not harm becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in different directions. So just think of something that you have been working on, would like to work on, and maybe moving into the new year, you might want to take a bit of a leap or not. So just think about, first of all, rejoicing in your own efforts, the efforts of everybody in the group. And I do think a lot about how much pain Hin was in, how difficult it was for her, she still managed to turn up. So that was kind of very inspiring for me to see. So anyway, back to our promise to ourselves, our vow to ourselves. So, best keep something that's doable for you. Don't try anything major. Just slowly build up your muscles. And this determination kind of gives us a bit of strength. We just decide we want to do something. So Vajrasattva, imagine, is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche we would recommend to meditate on a little bit of emptiness at the end of these practices. Actually, all of the practices, but anyway. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand, your mind understands emptiness, just place it there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, to Hin, to Jennifer continuing to get well, and for Barbara to get her voice back, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then think for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who's actually starting to teach soon in Bulgaria. So may everybody there be safe. May His Holiness be able to continue to teach like this. And may the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation just pop up very soon. And then for your own teachers, all your own individual teachers, may they live long. So it was very inspiring for me to see Geshe-la yesterday at the age of 90 plus, looking so sparkly and happy and well and healthy, and his skin is flawless. He doesn't seem to have any wrinkles. His mind is very, very sharp, and he's still teaching. So anyway, may they all be like that. Okay, so lots of love, everybody. Merry, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, however you see it. And I'll see some of you tomorrow morning.